Extensive 2-year associate's degrees can be earned in court and conference reporting, medical assisting, paralegal studies, administrative legal assistant, information processing, and medical administrative assistant. Call the admissions office today. An exciting future awaits you at Hassan College.
Saturday, March 20th, a day for all-star high school basketball. Hi, I'm News Center's Dale Duff. Plan to be at UMaine Alfond Arena on the 20th for the McDonald's Boys and Girls East-West Senior All-Star Games. These and other players from around the state will be shooting for fun and scoring big for Ronald McDonald's Children's Charities. It's an organization that helps children in Maine live happier, healthier lives. Don't miss the excitement Saturday on the 20th. Tickets are $5 at the door. The games begin at noon.
If you haven't been watching Jeopardy lately, you're missing categories like
Pro football teams for 100.
Country music for 200.
I Love Lucy for 300.
Made by Whammo, 400.
There's a category for everyone. Find yours on the next Jeopardy.
Take the Jeopardy challenge.
Weeknights at 7:30 on Channel 2.
WLBZ Bangor.
Four tractor trailers jackknifed in the snow, blocking traffic on Interstate 95 and reminding us that winter is far from over.
Now, from your 24-hour news center, this is the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening. I'm Jane Skinner in for Bill Connor tonight. Some parts of our region were hit with 6 inches, others with nearly 2 feet. The storm took its toll in Waterville, and News Center's Janet Smith tells us how they coped.
Snow and ice-covered roads along the interstate through Waterville caused this pileup of tractor-trailer rigs. Police say no one was hurt, but it sure tied up traffic for most of the morning. By now, we all should be pretty used to plowing and shoveling, right?
A little bit too much, if you ask me. Way too much.
As people tried to go about their business today, thoughts of warm, tropical places flashed through many people's minds.
Jamaica?
Jamaica? Aruba?
Anywhere but here?
Anywhere but here.
While many people are, to say the least, irritated with this latest winter snowstorm, there are others who are loving it.
As much as I hate the snow, I love Maine. So I can't think of another place I'd rather be.
Which would you rather be, in Maine in all the snow or in Florida with all the sunshine?
Maine.
This fellow wouldn't give me his name, but he did give me some advice. How many times would you say that you've shoveled this walkway this winter?
About 8.
And you don't mind?
Exercise is good for you. Remember that, young lady. Thank you.
Depending on your view of snow and winter, a vacation may sound pretty appealing just now. In Waterville, Janet Smith, News Center.
Southern sections of Maine didn't see as much snow as the Bangor area. The snow stopped falling around 8 this morning, and the major problem was that after that was the strong wind. It whipped around, creating whiteouts in some areas. Fire broke out this evening at a home on Brighton Avenue in Portland. The fire started in the basement, and no one was hurt, and the fire was brought under control. Firefighters had to cut a hole in the roof of the building to vent it. Investigators are still on the scene, and we will have an update for you on that fire tonight at 11 o'clock. Well, for what may seem like forever, many towns in Maine have held their annual town meetings in the month of March. More than 300 are expected to take place over the next few weekends, but that number lately has been dropping, and some places are holding off until May or even June. The reason? It's a custom that no longer makes economic sense.
I do have a question, I guess, is if the town still maintains the way.
There were some special topics at Sebago's town meeting this year, like the closing of Old Route 114 and the road commissioner's salary. But mostly, folks like Ted Green were concerned about the same old things.
That's what it's all about. Taxes, money, and, tradition mixed in, I guess.
Of those, tradition is the only one that's changing here in Sebago. After more than 160 years, the town has finally done it. Next year, the meeting will be held in late May or June. That will put Sebago on the same calendar as the state, and some say make life much easier.
There's no question in my mind it's the right thing to do.
Selectman George Tinkham says it's almost impossible to set the tax rates when you don't know how much money you'll be getting from the state. And the current system forces the town to borrow a lot.
Borrowing is expensive, and even at low interest rates, last year we paid $30,000 to borrow money, and $30,000 represents the taxes on maybe 20 people's homes.
The The later date will also mean Sebago's summer residents will get a chance to take part, and many of the year-rounders say they welcome the new faces and the new ideas. Most say the change will be tough to get used to, but only at first.
It's the nature of the people here in Sebago, and anywhere probably. They adjust to something they feel is progressive.
And the Maine Municipal Association says that so far about 100 towns have pushed their meeting dates back to May or June. We have a follow-up tonight on the fatal plane crash in Brewer last weekend. As we told you then, one person was killed, another seriously injured when their plane crashed in a remote section of Bangor. Police dispatcher Liz Tilley received the 911 call from someone who could see the wreckage. Tilley kept that person on the phone for the next 10 minutes so she could help rescue crews get to the scene of the crash.
Well, it's common, more so common now, to keep people on the phone, of course, depending on the circumstances. In this situation where the gentleman could actually see the plane, that was important to us because we had no sighting as of yet. Keeping them on the phone, giving the information to the emergency personnel in turn, they can ask me to ask that person further questions.
And Tilley says dispatchers often keep callers on the line if they can help rescue personnel get to where they need to go. Well, coming up next on your 24-hour news center, Bill Green will be along with a preview of this big night in high school basketball. And up next, we'll hear a voice from the past that is gaining a new audience in Lewiston.
Today and tomorrow, it's Dorsey Furniture's gigantic half-price sale on all bedroom sets and box springs and mattresses. Hurry to Dorsey Furniture, Bangor Mall, and East Holden.
Looking for a new car or truck? Listen to what your Ford dealer has to say.
The F-150 is the best-selling truck in America. The 93 Probe GT was Motor Trend's Car of the Year. The Ford Ranger is the best-selling compact pickup truck in America.
And if you're still not convinced, listen to what the competition has to say.
This here's the top seller in the county on Flag Day and Tuesday morning.
Right now, drive home America's best-selling truck, the Ford F-150, for a lot less than you might think. Another reason why your Ford dealers are #1.
Okay, moms and dads, let's take the parental guilt test. True or false? You wouldn't know your kid's teachers if you fell over them. 2, you have no idea what your kid got on last week's math test. And 3, the last time you showed up at a school function, your kid was 2 inches shorter. How'd you do? Well, for anyone who flunked, here's your homework assignment. Get involved. The more involved you are in your kid's school, the better they'll do.
From Maine Teachers Association, because we care.
More than you know, more than you know. Ooh, I love you so. Lately I find you're on my mind more than you know.
When this is the way you feel about a pound cake, it could only be intimate.
There's a new DJ spinning records for the students on the Bates College campus in Lewiston. But as News Center's Chris Rose reports tonight, that voice is not new to longtime radio listeners in Maine.
Tucked away in this small studio just off the Bates College campus, the 1920s and 30s come alive every Saturday afternoon.
Primarily, I'm aiming this show at those of us who are over 65.
Bob Mowers has been around a microphone for much of his life. You may remember him from WGAN or WLAM. After 50 years in the broadcasting business, Mowers decided to rest his voice last year. But the retirement didn't last long. All it took to get him back on the airwaves was word that the radio station at Bates College was looking for some local talent.
Well, I jumped at that. I'm a retiree, but you get radio or TV in your blood, and it's there. It's just so much fun.
While most DJs spin disc these days, Bob likes to stick to vinyl.
The 4th of September.
Besides playing the classics, Bob mixes in some stories and news from the old days. While most of the disc jockeys here are in their late teens or early 20s, Bob feels right at home.
So I'm having a ball, and I hope a lot of other people are, too.
In Lewiston, Chris Rose, News Center.
And you can hear 2 Hours with Mowers in the Lewiston, Auburn area on Saturday afternoons at 91.5 on the dial. Well, coming up next on your 24-hour news center, the UMaine Hockey Bears close out the season tonight at the Alphon. And the regional high school championships are set tonight for basketball. Bill Green will tell us what to expect.
It's hot. It's happening. It's Sounds of the 70s, the biggest, hottest collection of 70s hits ever. Songs of 1979, more than 1 full hour of hits for only $9.99 on compact disc or cassette. Audition other great sounds of the 70s albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. For a good time, call this number now.
To order Sounds of the 70s, use your credit card and call 1-800-632-5100. That's 1-800-632-5100. Or send $9.99 for 1 double-length cassette or 1 compact disc, plus $3.50 shipping and handling to Sounds of the 70s 79, Department 1, Richmond, Virginia. Phones open 24 hours.
Big, big night.
Ooh, I can't stand the excitement so big.
Okay, tell us what to expect.
All right, we got regional high school championship basketball action. They're sure to pack the Bangor Auditorium in the Cumberland County Civic Center tonight. In Portland, defending state champion South Portland will be taking on Sanford in boys basketball action. Now, the Riots made their free throws last night to hold off Deering. Fitzpatrick Trophy winner Burt Rich is still around to come up with the big plays as he did in last year's state championship game. Sanford coach Doug Roberts played on 2 state championship teams. Now he's trying to coach one. His Redskins at one point trailed by 14 points last night. Now, defending Eastern champion Bangor got a 33-point effort from Mark Reed as they beat a good Lawrence club 53-51 in overtime, setting up a meeting, the 3rd meeting of the year between Bangor and Old Town. The Indians are led by Matt Arsenault, who scored 26 points in last night's win over Skowhegan.
I think this is the game that everybody's looking forward to. I think this is the game that all those practices and all that time, comes down to.
It's big for us because people were doubting us. They didn't think we were as hungry as we should be. And they just, they predicted a Lawrence Old Town final, and we came out and proved them wrong.
Defending champ Bangor against undefeated Old Town tonight in the East. Now, the girls' finalists were determined Thursday night. It'll be Portland for the 13th straight time in the Western Maine Finals. In the East, fans will be treated to the exploits of Cindy Blodgett. She is perhaps the best high school player to ever come out of Maine. Her Lawrence Bulldogs will take on Lawrence at the auditorium tonight. College basketball today. Maine eliminated from the North Atlantic Conference Tournament. They were beaten by Hartford 59-49. Elsewhere, it was Delaware ahead of New Hampshire. Colby over Worcester, 121-105 in the quarterfinals of the ECAC. In women's basketball, UNH eliminates Maine. They will play again in the playoffs on Wednesday night. They beat Maine. They'll play in the playoffs Wednesday night. Southern Maine over Salem State. We want to mention that they played last night, and Southern Maine will go on to play Rowan, which is formerly Glassboro State. Rowan, a winner this afternoon, but I could not get the score from their security department. Now, we've got UMaine hockey for you tonight. Maine and New Hampshire from the Alphon Arena in Orono. Dale Duff will be calling all the action, and we expect that Jim Montgomery might be doing some of the scoring. Dale?
Okay, thanks, Bill. The Maine Black Bears in the last game of the regular season, they will go for a school record 35th win. And one of the main men for the Black Bears, as always, is Captain Jim Montgomery. And Jim, how do you guys feel here tonight?
Well, you know, we're kind of just relaxed right now. You know, we're trying to make sure we're focused, get the bad weather. I mean, a lot of us worried about our parents getting here and if they're safe. And right now we're just concentrated on the game and ready to go.
Did most of them get in okay?
As far as we know, I'd say about 50% attempted it, and the ones that did got here, so we're thankful for that.
Can you believe that the regular season, is almost gone?
It's really hard to believe, you know. I mean, it's been such a fun ride so far, but it is March, and our coaching staff keeps reminding us that it's playoff times right on our doorstep, so we're ready to go.
All right, good luck tonight. Maine and the New Hampshire Wildcats, the action begins at 7 o'clock. Bill, back to you.
Okay, Dale, we'll be there watching. Now, there will be a very special fan at tonight's Maine hockey game. Number 4, Bobby Orr, will be checking out the Black Bears. He's in Maine checking out important sites like the one where I was born, Eastern Maine Medical Center. Obviously, Orr was on a more important mission, visiting children, signing autographs, and, of course, talking about the Maine Black Bear Hockey Club.
Well, I think everyone's heard that they're number 1. I have not seen a game here at the rink. I've watched them on television, and they're a heck of a hockey team, and this could be their year.
What else have you heard about the Black Bears in terms of...
Now, among his greatest exploits was that goal against the St. Louis Blues to win the '70 Stanley Cup, and look at the Bees today, scoring again against the St. Louis Blues. Joey Juneau put them up 2-0, but they found themselves down 3-2 in the last minute of that hockey game, and that's when Glenn Wesley pokes it in to force overtime, and in the overtime on the power play, Wesley out to Ray Bork, blast, Bees win it, the final 4-3. From the cold of the Garden to the warmth of Fort Myers, Florida, Roger Clemens starting the Grapefruit League season, 3 innings, 2 strikeouts, no hits today. Tim Nearing drives in both runs for the Red Sox with a 2-run single in the 7th. Greg Harris picks up the win for the Boston Red Sox, a 2-1 win over Minnesota. And in college baseball today, UMaine beats the number 3 team in the country, Texas A&M 6-5. That's the Bears opener. They are 1-0. A&M is now 15-4.
Now, the Twins and the Red Sox are no dummies. They're in Fort Myers right now.
Oh, yes. I didn't know what you mean. But, boy, they wear ugly uniforms. Those are the ugliest uniforms. They have almost identical uniforms.
But they're hot and they're sweating.
Yeah, you're right.
And
it's a nice
freezing.
spot to be.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Jeff Latham's in next to tell us if we're going to get a reprieve from the onslaught of winter weather here. And on the business scene, we'll take you to Auburn, where they're selling the unusual and one-of-a-kind.